So to get at the controversy, the big issue right now, the big controversy that everyone's talking about is, why is the president of an independence movement in California not in California? And the reason is that 3 months ago, we were invited to go to an international conference, and the president went. When he went to this international conference, which was in Russia, we were not paid to go, but airfare and hotel was provided. True. He went. We passed out copies of our book to almost all of the reporters there. Because of that, we got in all Russian news, where all of Russia knew about it. Because all of Russia was talking about it, German, French, Spanish, English, and Scottish television and print was covering it. Because of that, within 12 hours, New York Times and ABC television talked about Yes California. Here's the interesting thing. We have a pool of 450 reporters that we send press releases to for the last 2.5 years. No one gave us the time of day out of New York City. Suddenly you get in 5 European countries and New York Times and ABC TV cover you within 12 hours. That's not a coincidence. So what we figured out was, getting international attention gets us the European attention. Getting the European attention forces New York-based American news to cover us. We need that to do well. So we said, hey, continue to stay outside of the American media. Continue to stay in Europe, get in the European news. The easiest way to do that was for him to get a teaching job for 6 months teaching English at a university town known as Ekaterinburg, named after Catherine the Great, in Russia. The reason for that was that the 2008 global economic collapse had decimated the jobs in Europe. The Europeans were not interested in taking Americans on and having them employed. Russia was. He teaches English. He's taught English for 10 years to international students. So he said, I'll get an English teaching job. Who's willing to take me? Well, there was frankly only one person on that continent who was, because the rest of them were blocking each other. I mean, Germany and France were preventing other European countries from sending people. They damn well weren't interested in an American showing up and taking jobs. So this is where he could get a job. And he kept getting in the news. Because of that, we have basically been in, Yes California's been covered by the top 4. 4, not 1, not 2, top 4. German, French, English, Scottish, Japanese, top 2 Chinese, top 2 Spanish news. So it's worked. I wrote the book in 2012. Nobody helped me write that. Nobody gave me money to travel to 40 California cities. Nobody got Tom Elias to write an article on me. Nobody told Lewis to work with me. Nobody helped Lewis and I build this for the last 2 years. I mean, he's been gone 3-4 months, and they forget that for the last 2.5 years, he and I have been in California building this. 30,000 people who follow us on Facebook are not all Russian stooges. 110,000 people on an email list are not all Russian stooges. There's been no evidence that we've gotten this $1 million that they say that we have. And there's no evidence that somebody wrote the book for me or gave me all the data. And there's no evidence that we've changed our basic argument in 2.5 years. So what is it that they've done? They didn't change our talking points. They didn't give us money. They didn't give us members. They didn't fake members. They didn't write the book that started it all. They didn't build the organization. So what is it that they're doing?